Hi, this is David Comfort from Democracy Action Network. Here's something wild. The Voting Rights Act of 1965, hailed as one of the most successful civil rights statutes in U.S. history, is now facing an existential threat from a recent ruling by two Republican judges. This decision essentially declares the act nearly null and void, stripping away the power of private citizens to enforce protections against racial discrimination in voting. Can you believe that? Let's take a moment to appreciate what the Voting Rights Act achieved. Just 2 years after it was enacted, black voter registration in Mississippi skyrocketed from a mere 6.7% to nearly 60%. This was a monumental shift in a region long plagued by Jim Crow laws. Yet, here we are, decades later, potentially watching these hard-fought rights slip away. The case in question, Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Indians versus Howe, is a clear attempt to undermine the Act's enforcement mechanisms. If the Supreme Court upholds this ruling, we could see a future where the Department of Justice, currently under Trump's influence, is the only entity allowed to enforce voting rights. And let's be honest, that's not a comforting thought. Ever notice how the Supreme Court seems to change the rules whenever it suits their agenda? Justice Neil Gorsuch, in a recent opinion, suggested that the Voting Rights Act might be a near nullity. This is honestly crazy, but reflects a broader trend where the court is actively working to dismantle protections for marginalized communities. In fact, over the past decade, the court has treated the Voting Rights Act worse than any other statute, as Justice Elena Kagan pointed out. What if I told you that since 1982, private litigants have been responsible for over 96% of successful claims under the Voting Rights Act? That's right. This ruling threatens to take away their power, leaving vulnerable communities at the mercy of a politically motivated DOJ. The absurdity doesn't stop there. The court has previously ruled that laws must have individual-centric language to be enforceable. Yet the Voting Rights Act clearly states that no citizen should be denied their right to vote based on race. It's almost as if the court is playing a game of legal twister, bending and contorting the rules to justify their decisions. In the grand scheme, this is not just about the Voting Rights Act, it's about the very fabric of our democracy. We're witnessing a pattern where those in power are attempting to rewrite history, erasing the progress made by civil rights activists like John Lewis. But here's the thing, we can't let this happen. The fight for voting rights is far from over, and together, we can understand these challenges as puzzles worth solving. Let's stay engaged and ready to defend our democracy. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. It would help out a lot. Peace.